Yeah, I'm in.
Deep in the forests of North America, a creature is said to exist. A creature that people are encountering.
Seriously, look how big it is.
With far too many reports to ignore, there are elements of truth behind these accounts that mankind can no longer
It's
ignore.
created almost this obsession where I need to find out
Could a
more.
breeding population of large, upright, hairy hominids really exist in North America?
All right, let's see. Now, do I get you guys up here? All right, how you guys doing?
Oh,
yeah.
We're good. Yourself?
Good, good. So let me introduce myself. I'm Michael Purcell. I'm the host of Paranormal Files Into the Darkness. I apologize coming on late, but tonight we have some great investigators from England. We got Kev and Dom and Josh from Weston Supernatural. And I had the pleasure of meeting these guys in July when Gwen and I were over. And I invited them on, so I appreciate your time. Thanks for being patient with me. Let's just dive right in. So what got you guys into the paranormal?
I think for us, I was kind of always brought up with, ghosts are real and that's that. But when me and Kev got together, I got him one of those paranormal investigation ghost hunts that are commercial ones at Shepton Mallet Prison, which isn't far from us. And we went there and got completely hooked.
Well, for me, I've kind of always grown up with it. We had quite a close family friend who was a medium, and we lived in a building that was built in the 1860s. So it was kind of a lot of activity. Heard things, seen things. Yeah.
Nice. And I just saw you guys were just on an investigation Saturday.
Yeah.
This was
Yes.
anything. How was that?
Really interesting.
It was really good. Yeah. It was at a airfield museum. Had lots of World War II, World War One artifacts and things in there. It was quite creepy actually in some bits.
Yeah, especially the German room as well. That was quite. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to say, being here in America, being a younger country than you guys, I could imagine, some of the older buildings having the history and paranormal. What is one of your or do you have multiple ones that you remember, or activity or just stands out?
Well, Shepton Mallet always stands out. Of course, that was the 1600s.
Yeah,
1600s.
Yeah.
So that closed down only about 15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
So up till then, it was a working prison. So yeah, that one has definitely got some interesting points to it. Josh, that was your first one with us as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I came on in the investigation with them as public. So I've only been with the team quite a short period of time. It's probably been, about 7 months now? Yeah, and it, to be fair, it was very active in that place. Probably, I would say, one of the closest favorite sort of investigation we've been on. Because you've got a lot more to sort of explore as well. It's not just sort of one area. But yeah, there's a lot going on in Shepton Mallet.
Because that's the one that Chrissy got scratched across the face, wasn't it? When we was walking back to the base room.
Yeah. That was quite good. I had a few things going on as well. apparently we had a medium with us. I think it was Pam at the time, wasn't it? She
Yeah.
had a vicar behind me. So yeah, yeah, crazy. I seem to holy people.
Yeah. So I think for me it must have been. I would probably say the Skirrid Inn, because that was our first like shocking wow moment. We did an EVP session in the restaurant, part of a really old pub where lots of people got hanged. And we didn't think much of it. We went back to play the EVP, so I plugged it in a spirit box, put it on an amplifier. And then all of a sudden, I think Dom said, "Oh, why are you crying?" That was one of the questions, and then it came back, and we heard a whisper saying "a baby," and I think everyone got the chills then, because that was like the first time we actually had
got a full voice,
a disembodied voice. EVP.
And one of the funky things about that though is all the guys in the group heard a female voice.
Yeah.
But all the girls heard a man's voice.
Oh.
I played it to my dad, like showing him, and he was like, "That's a woman." I was like, "No, it's a man." And so yeah, it was really, really strange how it just, the guys swore blind it was a woman, and we all said, "No, that's a man."
But we had a similar thing happen to us at the Sedgemoor battlefield. We was just having a break, and I always keep the camera rolling because these things always happen when you're not expecting it or going up looking for it. And all of a sudden, a loud whisper went, "I am here," right on the memorial site. And me and Baz went, "What the hell was that?" The girls didn't hear it, but we did. Only three blokes were there, rest of the women, and we the only people who heard it. On the playback, on the recording, you could hear it clear as day. And that was the first time I think we heard that was the second time we heard a disembodied voice actually not using equipment.
Yeah,
it was, so we could actually probably hear it.
No, nice. Yeah. Now, was that when we were there with you guys in July, or do you guys go there other times to the battlefield?
No, when we were with you guys, that was the third time we'd been there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that voice actually happened, I think it was on our first visit, wasn't it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was the very first time we went there. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's literally down the road from you, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, literally about maybe 15.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And we heard musket shots, cannon fire. It literally sounded like there was a football game going on in a nearby field, and we said, "Is there any things going on, sporting events?" And Zoe called around to the nearest possible venue. They said no, we had nothing going on. But I was really gutted because the cameras didn't pick it up, and everyone was like, "Wow, could you hear all that?" It was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, do you guys lead investigations with other people, or is it just your team? Guess what? Like, do you have a place that you would have people come and then you guys lead, like average? I don't want to use the word average, but somebody who's not into the supernatural,
Well, we've done like a couple of what we class as public investigations.
Yes, that
was how we met Josh, was through doing that. So that was the Shepton Mallet one. And we do private ones, but then the one we did over the weekend, that was actually joining up with another team.
Okay, nice.
So we try to branch out, but that was one of the teams we actually met from the cryptid convention back in May.
Okay, nice. So what do you guys like to invest? Is there a certain area or certain things you like to investigate, or is it all just? And I should ask,
we can get to.
Don't investigate.
Yeah, it's difficult. So I suppose for us, we just try and find venues. That's the hardest part, because we found like we'd be driving through a town. Go, "Oh, that pub looks really old. Oh, it's 15th century. Let's get in contact with them." And I don't know whether a lot of them think we're like doing it as a laugh or a gag, but no one ever bothers getting back to us. Or they come back to us and it's like, yeah, that's £2,000. And you're like, you're joking, yeah?
Oh,
for 5 hours, yeah, you got to be kidding.
oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As soon as you say paranormal, I think that's when the money sort of triples.
Yeah.
But when we do events, we don't do it for profit. We're a non-profit. Even when we have guests, it's a venue cost split plus whatever the insurance is to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not like an entertainment company or anything.
Oh, okay. Now, do you guys get contacted from people who say, I think my house is haunted, and would investigate those?
There was that one time,
We've done a few.
Sorry,
Me
Karen.
me, Dom, and Baz and Steph. We went to a certain location that wasn't sort of for the public or for the team. It was just to try and find answers, didn't we, Dom?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. It was one of the shops in town, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, we have done a couple of houses, but because I think the first thing they do is they say, "Oh, our house is haunted. Get rid of them." It's like, well, actually, we don't do that. We actually find out what the spirit wants. If it causes them harm, then we get rid of it. But there's a local kid. He said it wasn't causing any harm, but we sort of gave him instructions to sort of say, look, find out what it wants, speak to it, because generally when we find when they disrupt the house, it's because they want to be known they're there. And we usually find if you talk out to them, eventually it calms down. But then we do get some people we think, are they trying to like pull our leg or something? Because those ones we're just like, we'll get we'll ask a few questions, get a few answers, and then we'll decide if we're going to do it or not.
Okay, nice. And how many people are on your team?
It's 11, isn't it, at the moment?
Nice.
Yeah, 10 or 11.
Yeah, we tried to keep it we tried to keep it around 10 because we don't like having a massive team.
Does anybody have like psychic abilities or like a medium on your team? Or
yeah, we got 2 mediums and a few sort of in training mediums, I suppose you could call it.
Nice.
Everyone's sensitive as well.
Okay.
I would love to have a full blown skeptic, but
You just want to argue with someone.
That's good. That's good. And I just want to thank you guys again. I know it's after midnight your time, so appreciate you being on. Now, so you guys have anything coming up that you like to promote?
God, we don't actually have anything in the works for a few months, to be honest. With Christmas coming up, everyone's a little bit short on the pennies.
Yeah.
So it can add up quite a lot. But we're doing like a big one in May.
Yeah.
And then a few planned to book up through next year. So we've got like a big ancient woodland that we want to go to. They've got a big lodge there.
Oh, okay.
So we can sleep, loads of us. So we're going to go have a nap in there and see what happens.
Lots of Roman activity in the area. It's near 2 old Roman settlements and a lot of tin mines.
Oh, okay.
So could be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like next year is going to be pretty busy for you guys and taking it easy for the next couple months. So it makes sense. I mean, you're already at the end of September. You got Halloween coming up and Christmas. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you've got the weather coming in as well. So that sort of rules out a lot of outdoor stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, you guys mainly stick to England, or have you been to other parts of the UK, Ireland, Scotland?
Well, we did sort of it wasn't an official venture, was it? We did Scotland.
Yeah, we did a couple of days. Just me and Kev went away for a couple of days to Scotland. We did like a tour of Greyfriars graveyard.
Okay.
Which is supposed to be quite notoriously haunted. It's got an old crypt there, and what was used as like a prison area. and it was getting so many paranormal attacks on people, the local council actually decided to keep it locked. And it was only this particular tour guide company that were able to go in there. We managed to walk around. As we were walking around there, I felt like my neck felt a bit sore. And I said to Ken, "Is like, are there any marks on my neck?" And he was, "No, nothing's there. It looks fine." And then as we'd finished the tour and walked out, I kind of like rubbed my hand on my neck and
Wow.
Kev had a look and had those big scratches on my neck. So which seems to be quite a common thing there. And when I messaged the tour company we went with, they just said, "Oh, can we add it to our catalogue of scratches?" So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow. Nice. I know when we were there, the tour, is that a common area for activity, or has anybody investigated? I thought that was an interesting climb up that hill. Yeah.
Glastonbury rescue mission.
Yeah, I think there's always something going on up there.
Yeah.
We did catch that on a very busy night because it was a blood moon. So yeah, we did catch on a very, very busy night. You've been up there before with Zoe, didn't you? You went up for a walk.
I was actually up there the week before. Me and Zoe just literally went for a walk, and it was at that point it was really peaceful. But yes, there is stories around how I can't even remember the actual original story of Glastonbury Tour. Josh, do you know it? I can't remember it.
I think it's supposed to be related to. It's supposed to be loosely related to King Arthur, and supposedly the Holy Grail's buried there, and there's all sorts of myths and legends.
Yeah, it's mainly to do with the ley lines, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you get a lot of people like they've actually got what looks like it's not a well, but it's like a round circle, which is pinpointing where the ley line is. So you have a lot of people going up there to like ground and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that night, but it was a lot of I don't know how
drumming.
Like we're going to the Glastonbury tour. I'm like, oh, I wonder what tour we're taking. The tour was not TOUR, TOR.
Oh, TOR.
Yeah, I was like,
English language for you.
I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And then going down, but it was a beautiful as a sunset. It's a beautiful view from up there. So that's why I thought I'd ask if you guys ever investigated there, or have you? I mean, with the folks that are up there chanting and singing in there, it's like, at some point, can you give it a place so other people can enjoy it?
That's the difficult part.
Yeah.
When you get the locals, some of the locals can be a bit.
Yeah, I did ask them nicely if they. I just said, look. I said, your guys' music's really cool and all, but I said, do you mind just giving us like 10, 15 minutes in the tower to basically be told to
go away.
What was I? I was called a capitalist pig and to get out, basically.
Oh, wow.
In the nicest terms.
Wasn't so much of the love and light then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so tempted to put a hole in that drum, I tell you.
I mean, how are you making money by asking them to step out for 10, 15 minutes to be a capitalist,
Yeah, I know, I'm a capitalist pig.
I don't know. I guess if you're not they seem to be hippies. If you're not a hippie, then you're a capitalist pig, and I guess that's, I don't know.
If we'd gone up there, dressed a bit differently, it might have been fun.
I see. If you actually go into the centre of Glastonbury, especially on a Saturday, I mean, me and Dom went there for lunch and was sat in the pub, and I looked out the window and I said, Dom, you just saw a guy dressed as Gandalf walking a llama. And she went, yes. I said, oh, good, that was not me then. You get some strange characters up Glastonbury, I tell you.
To be honest, it's an interesting place because, Josh, you were already saying the other day that you hate going there because it gives you such a headache.
Oh, it does.
Area is fine. I don't have any issues, but as soon as I go into Glastonbury, I always get a headache. Like every time.
Yeah.
Back out of Glastonbury, gone. Very strange. Don't know why.
Sets Bella off every time we go there, doesn't it? She has a proper right meltdown every time we go to Glastonbury.
It's my youngest daughter.
Yeah.
She hates it. Apart from when the Hare Krishnas were there.
Oh, the Hare Krishnas. To be fair, they held a good beat. I got to give them that.
Yeah.
Oh, so any other stories you want to share, like on your investigations, or?
Cool, we've had a fair few interesting ones. I mean, say from the other night, it was a place called David Stowe Airfield. So it's an old RAF base and airfield. We've got obviously lots and lots and lots of old things that have been in the museum as well. While we were in the hangar part of it, we were obviously trying to connect with spirit and asking for some physical signs. And we got little bits and bobs on some of the equipment we were using, but all of a sudden we just had a massive bang on the back wall, literally like someone had taken a hammer to it. And we thought, okay, just asked if it could be done again, and it was. And then Kev decided to do a walk around. And as he was walking around, I couldn't see where he was, but on the opposite wall to where I was facing, I could see a perfect shadow of a person. So I called out to Kev and just like, oh, whereabouts are you? And he was nowhere near that area. And when I actually spotted him, his shadow was on a completely different wall.
Oh.
So that was really interesting. And then as we walked out of the hangar door, literally looked behind me and saw, as quick as blink an eye, a full person walk out behind us. And then they were gone. And I cannot explain that at all. I mean, we go by paranormal as the last possible explanation. We'll always try and find a way to debunk ourselves. But after asking the guy that was like locking up and looking after the place, and just said to him, is there anything that can bang against the walls and cause shadows or anything like that? And he was like, he asked where, and I explained, and he was like, yeah, bangs are usually heard around there. There's nothing that physical can cause it.
And quite often when we ask questions, it was setting off our REM pod as well.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I know when we because obviously we were another team at that point, so we collaborated on it. I was with Ian and Hella, and there was some voices on the spirit box, which I don't know if I'm not going to say it, but an F word was pronounced with an off on the end. And we could have sworn we'd seen someone peering in the actual door frame. There was all three of us seen it. But yeah, it was almost like they were holding back. Do you know what I mean? You could sense it, but it wasn't like giving us full force. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's because it's a military base, and it was kind of like their higher ups were saying, no, you're not allowed to talk and all this sort of stuff. It just felt like it was restricted. Yeah,
I mean, when we were in the office, I even said, I spoke out and I did say, look, the Secrets Act is no longer a thing no more. Like, it's gone past 50 years, so you can talk to us. Because I did think, if they are in that position of power, they're not going to release confidential information. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, things like that always pop into the head. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I've talked to a lot of people who like to try to debunk before they, so they don't mislead, and that to me is reputable. So like, not right away you see something and you right away it's supernatural or paranormal or Bigfoot folks. I saw something I can't explain. It's not a bear. It has to be a Bigfoot. So it's good.
Yeah.
The self debunking before you be like, what is it? We can't explain it. Here's our story. Run. You make your own judgment as to how you would want to lead. So that is cool.
Yeah. I mean, we've got thousands of hours of footage. We've got thousands of photographs, and I'd say probably 96, maybe 97% we've debunked it all.
Yeah.
I've only got one. We've got 2 photos that we can definitely say that's paranormal. Because one thing, like pareidolia, that's the worst thing in paranormal investigations because of digital cameras. People like look at the picture, go, oh, that's definitely a face, and then everyone else is like, no, that's really not a face. But I can see it, and it's like, no. And unless I can see it as clear as day, like I can see you on the camera. Sorry.
Yeah.
As you can tell, he's super polite about saying it.
I'm just done to the point, you know me. I don't mess about.
But there's some things you can't. I know when Gwen and I were our fire company, our chief, his cousin is a chief at another fire company in this town near us. And the one night we stopped there, we did they wanted us to come and investigate the team that we were on, but we're no longer with the team. We never did investigate. We just did like a preliminary one. I mean, we heard what sounded like a chair being moved up. So like this goes back to like the 1800s when they used horses to draw the wagon with the hoses and stuff. So like the first floor would be the carriage room, or below the ground floor would have been like the carriage. The first floor is where they have the engine in today. Second floor is like a lounge where the firefighters hang out, plus like a small bar area. And then the third floor was a floor where they had their meetings, and they had the chairs lined up on the wall, and we could clearly hear a chair being dragged across the floor. So we all went up to this third floor, turned on a light. And there was a pipe that runs parallel with the wall, and the back of the legs for the chairs were behind the pipe. So something had to actually pick it up, and then drag it. And there was one chair that was out. Then we turned out the lights, and we were taking pictures, and we caught like a black shadow in the picture, and it was interesting. We never, like I said, the team we were on, like they wanted to go to places and pay to get there. Like, we went to Hillview, and we went to we were going to go to another place. And to me, I mean, I don't mind investigating those places, but it's like, if you have a local area or something that says, hey, come and check this out, checking it out as well. And it seems like fire companies here in our area have some activity, because there was another one that Gwen and I set up some cameras because they were having activity. So, but yeah. But when we were there at the one where I said we got the shadow and heard the thing, his name's Brian, his daughter was with us, and we got to the third floor, and she started getting like pain in her chest. And they didn't know if it was a former firefighter who was a member and also an officer and I guess the story was he was cleaning his gun, and he discharged. He didn't realize it was loaded. Like there was one in the chamber, and shot himself in the chest. So they didn't know sometimes they thought he was still there. So they didn't know if that was affecting her because of the chest and having that heavy weight. So we were, it dispersed things. I said, if it's bothering you, you're going to want to go down to get away from it. So that was interesting. It was, I miss investigating. I mean, we went with the Bigfoot and all the other stuff we're taking on, and we're trying to find or maybe put together a team to do investigations to get back into it. So I know I miss it.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything I could ever stop doing.
Yeah. So I think cool.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, we have been to some places and we've got nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a waste of time, but it's not really. It's because then we can go back again and then we'll get something different. Yeah, it's just the thrill of the hunt, isn't it? Is what they say.
Yeah, but I think another part of it is, well, I don't know, but I mean, I know with our team, we all find that different level of connection as well. So, I've got friends and like other friends outside the team, but within our team, it's just we've got that whole other level. Because we do these things together, and we do connection work, and we do psychic development side as well, and things like that. And we see each other in very different situations to what most people do. And you just get to that next level.
Yeah. I would say as well, I get more confident in myself. And having those sort of psychic development nights actually helps me a lot. And the team have really helped me come out of my shell, sort of. So it's always good.
We do love you, Josh.
Yeah.
So, what was that? You get a lot of people for your public events, and how does that go? I know, and the reason I'm asking is we went on a public event that when I was with that group, and it just seemed like you were in the basement. It was black, dark, couldn't see in front of you, hunkered down, just listening, and the next thing you know, you hear just people tramping upstairs or walking by, and it's like, oh, it's, to me, I think that's a little frustrating. I think that's why. So how are your?
Yeah.
To be fair, people actually
ours have
work
been
quite well, don't they? With
yeah,
us?
ours have all been quite good. I mean, when so going back to Chuck and Karolina again, it's only because we've been there so many times, but the first time we went there as a team, we actually piggybacked off a public company. So they gave us access to the areas they weren't going to use. And we did find that the people in their public side were just trampling through everything, and it was really frustrating. But when we've hosted our own public ones, we seem to have people that are really serious about it, and we don't run it like a public event, if you like. We just run it like we would a normal night.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally bring people into our own investigation style rather than try and make it a show.
Yeah, no.
Nice.
So I think it tends to just attract the people that are serious about it, and they're not doing it for a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no jump scares or fishing wire on our investigations.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't want to fake anything, no matter what you're doing, because no, I agree there.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that you guys are organized. The people that come are respectful, and so it's nice. I know here Scott has a comment. Let's see. That he went on a ghost tour with his brother-in-law. He went to the morgue. They pushed me in, and I felt something pushed down on my chest. I went into one of the patient's room, burning pain in my back. That was interesting. I wonder if he could respond if he after the burning pain, did he have scratches, or was he scratched? I don't know if he will respond, but yeah. I know he also had another one which I saw Kev respond to. He's like, his dog died in 2011. 3 weeks after he died, I heard footsteps going down my dad's hallway, and I heard his panting. I swear to God, I saw his shadow on the wall. And then I see you guys.
Yeah.
You lost your dog over a year ago. We had things happen about the house. I'm the same way. We had I know Gwen lost her dog. I lost my boxer. And one night she was home alone, and she, when I would be working away, and she felt something jump up like on the bed. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We had one, didn't we? Our medium said, something's gonna get whacked off your table, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then was it a few nights later, my phone was like this phone was perfectly on the table like that in the middle. No way you're gonna knock that off. And all of a sudden it just went flew off the table. And she said Harley, our dog, was gonna knock it off the table.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I agree. We were prior to our festival in August, we had a friend who's a medium, and she was up, we were doing like a promotion. I dressed as Bigfoot. I was in the town, and we were sitting there eating, and she's like, did you have a dog that liked to paw at you for food? And I'm like, yeah, Murphy, he was a boxer, and he would always just sit there and just paw at you. And I called him a southpaw because it was always his left paw. And she's like, he's sitting right next to you doing that. He's pawing at you for food. And I thought that's kind of cool. I'm like, then possibly he's still around. He was like really my first and only dog. Now we have Tucker, and we had to put down. We had 4. We had Sammy, and then we had Callie, and then we got the Bloodhounds. We had Tucker and Sherlock, and then we lost Sammy, and then just earlier this year we lost Sherlock, and we lost Callie. So yeah, it's been a year. So I don't know if they're still here. We haven't seen anything or heard anything from them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think our pets definitely hold a special place, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I like my pets or animals in general than humans, because humans can be just so
Definitely.
ugly. Yeah, and the dog, your pets, they love you no matter what. There's as long as you're rubbing them. I mean, it's funny, since we lost Sherlock, we let Tucker sleep in bed with us, because 200-pound bloodhounds would not be easy to sleep with. And when you go to bed, he has a routine where he wants you to pet him. He'll get in there. He'll want his ears, and you pull on those big floppy ears and everything. And then when he's done, he just goes and lays down. And in the morning, same thing. He'll get up in your face. He wants to pet him. When he's done, he's boop out, ready to go, because then he wants to go out. So yeah, it's definitely nice to have a pet that's just there because they want to be.
Can't say you have the same experience if you had a goldfish or a hamster.
Yeah, you can't really stroke them. Well,
Sit there.
goldfish, anyway.
Let's see what he got. Scott also says, one night, I swear to God, I felt something heavy on my bed. There was nothing there. I think it was my pit bull keeping an eye on me. He wanted me to be close by his ashes. Yep, I have all the ashes to our dogs as well. And he's a very
we've still got Harley's ashes.
Talking of weights on beds, I had a really odd experience. I think it was back in 2007, I think it was. My mum and my stepdad were away in America, actually, on holiday. And my granddad lived right behind my dad's house, and he was it must have been I think he was 83 at the time. And I was at home, and my ex's sister came down from Scotland and was watching a film. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, something in my head said, "Oh, your granddad wants to see you." And I said to myself, "Sorry, I've got to go. My granddad wants to see me." And they were like looking at me like I was like nuts. So I hopped in the car, went down there. I went through walked into the house. He was sat there in his chair watching the telly. This was about 11 o'clock at night. And then a few minutes later, my mum and stepdad came back home, brought in suitcases down. He picked up my granddad, took him to the toilet, come back, and then he died in the chair. And then that night, went back home. I was lying on my bed. 'Cause obviously, you're processing what's gone on and everything. And all of a sudden, the corner of the bed sank, and my foot went cold, and I just literally I couldn't move. And then a few minutes later, I saw the bed go up, and then it just the atmosphere had completely changed. It was like he'd come back to say goodbye, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was really strange, but yeah, I can't really explain it.
It's unexplainable, but there's got to be. I believe in stuff. I've never had an encounter with. And our house is haunted. We have 4 entities in our house that we live with, and one is a child. There's a male and 2 females, I believe. And I know the one time our same friend her name is Stacy, that we were at dinner. Gwen was in the bedroom, pretty much right there, that she turned into her office where she does her podcast and stuff like that. And she was just in there doing something, and she just felt like something, heavy, and something was there. And she messaged her on Facebook and said, "Hey, could you do me a favor?" And they did a Facebook Live, and she was scanning the room, and she's like, "Stop and write so in that room on the left is a closet," and she says, "There's a guy standing there." And she's like, "He's your grandfather, and he wanted to let you know he's proud of you," and everything like that. And then it was wild. And then just recently, she was on a podcast, and the woman said, "There's a small child behind you," and she said, "Is he Amish?" Because she believes the child in the house is when she was first a paramedic years ago. He got called to a Amish house where a 4 or 5 year old boy drowned, and they couldn't bring him back. They drove.
Yeah.
They worked them from the time they picked them up to the time they got to the hospital, and the person said, "Yeah, it's an Amish boy that's standing behind you." So it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see anything like now. I'm getting with that story too because like when I used to consult with and I used to work in like Seattle, Washington, and when we were here, and there'd be days where like the one night Gwen came home, her being a paramedic, came home from work. She's sitting at the kitchen table by herself because I wasn't home, and she had like a rough day, and she felt something cold, but also like electrifying, like a hand on her shoulder. And it was almost like whatever it was, just put it there to be like, hey, it's going to be okay. You know, I never got touched. She's got touched. When she first moved in, we were laying in bed and she's like, did you just reach over and put your hand on my thigh? I'm like, no, I didn't do it. She's like, well, something cold and a hand on my thigh. So, you know, like anything else, we switched sides of the bed. And then it was like a couple months later, something felt like it sat down by her. You could feel the mattress, she said, go down. And she's like, are you leaning or something? I'm like, no, not me. You think it's switching sides of the bed's gonna matter? So yeah, it's been interesting.
I had a weird experience in my second home. It was I think it was a couple of weeks after my dad had died. Was going through a lot of like solicitor nonsense, and I heard a whisper. So it said, I can help you. I don't know. I didn't recognize the voice, and it sort of woke me up. And then I went back to sleep again. And outside my bedroom window at the time, there was a street light. So light was coming through, and it was hard to sleep. And then at the corner of my eye, I saw a shadow go across the curtains and kicked me in the leg enough to wake me up, like make me alert. And then I thought, oh, it was my ex going to the toilet. So I rolled over, because women leave a nice hot patch on the bed. So I rolled over to still some heat, and I hit her in the face. And she woke up and went, what the hell are you doing? Why did you just punch me? And I said, I just saw you go past the curtains because you kicked me because you were going to the toilet. And she went, no, I didn't. I felt it as a proper kick because my legs were hanging off the bed. And then here, when I was asleep, my foot got grabbed because the duvet was slightly off my foot, and it was literally, so see, that was my toes. It literally like someone went like that and pulled my foot, and I was like, oh, it woke me up. Isn't it? So yeah, something keeps touching my feet. Don't know why.
Definitely not me.
They got a foot fetish.
Yeah, something with a foot fetish. But Dom's got some history with our house guests, because we've got what, 2 or 3 maybe. No. Because you think you've had my nan, you said you've seen my dad, and we've got George and Alice. Alice has disappeared, I think.
Yeah, she's arrested.
But George can tell you about those ones, because it's interesting, some of the stuff that's happened.
Yeah, so I mean, before me and Kev actually moved into this house, it was actually Kev's childhood home.
Okay.
And then when we knew each other as kids. Then when we reconnected, we started redoing this house, renovating it all. And as that was happening, one night I had a dream, and it was vivid as anything, and it kept repeating for about a week. So I would see the house front room as it used to be. It was at Christmas, and there was always a chair that Kev's dad sat in whenever I used to come around when we were younger, near the stairs, and he was always sat there, like in my dream. And it was in my dream, it was Christmas Day. We were there, we were the kids, but none of us paid any attention to him, like he wasn't actually there. He just looked peaceful and sat, and this kept repeating. And then when we actually had Christmas here, everything was set out the same, but newer, as it was in my dream. So the chair we'd ended up moving the chair over. The tree was in the place that I dreamt it was, and everything like that, which was really quite odd. And then with Kev's nan, shortly after she passed, I used to do most of my housework last thing at night. So when everyone had gone to bed, including Kev, I'd stay up for the next hour or so just cleaning. And for a couple of nights, I would be in the kitchen cleaning, and I knew full well she was sat at my kitchen table saying, "Why are you down here? Go on, go to bed, it's too late." I could just hear it, like not out loud, but in my head, and I could see it in my head, and I knew it was her, and I could smell the perfume and everything. Because I went up to Kev, because I hadn't seen much of Kev's nan since we'd reconnected, and I asked him, I was like, "Did you ever wear a perfume that smelled like this?" And he was like, "Well, yeah."
But musk of old people.
Yeah.
It was.
And then the two children that are here is George and Alice. So George has been with me for a long time. So when my oldest son, he's 19 now. So when he was a baby, in one of the first flats I was in, he had like all your general baby toys that make noises and everything like that. Now I know they'd always be turned off at night. I'd leave the room, lights were off. All of a sudden, the lights and the noises are going off at the baby on the baby toys. I'll be perfectly honest, it terrified me. And I always knew it was a child because it was always toys that would get affected. And then throughout the years, different bits and bobs happened. And then my last house I lived in, things would keep going missing. Bits of clothing, bits and bobs. I remember stood in my kitchen one day and just said, "Can you please stop taking my things? Can I have them back, please? I need them." I felt like an idiot. I hadn't really done anything to do with spiritual stuff at this point. But then my things started coming back. I was with an ex-partner at the time, and his things never returned. Even when I moved out of that house and I cleaned out, he wasn't very nice. But even when I moved out of that house, those things were never there, which was really, really strange. But the funniest thing is that when me and Kev were together and he was coming around to that house, I used to find pound coins, like perfectly brand new, shiny pound coins. So I'd open the car door, turn around, there's a pound coin behind me. I remember dumping my handbag out on the stairs, turned around, turned back, there's a pound coin on top of my bag.
Every time I came back from work, pulled at the driveway, opened the door, there's a pound coin in the same place pretty much every time.
But it's funny thing is, we joked.
Yeah, I said, "Oh, can you give us
20s?
20s instead?" Expecting £20 notes, of course.
20 pence pieces.
20 pence pieces.
But we had a couple of times that the hob turned on, and in the end I said, "Look, can we not touch the hob, please? It's very dangerous. It gets very hot," as you would say to a young child, and it stopped. We had things go missing and reappear. It was really funny.
I like the box of chocolates. I bought a big box of Maltesers. It's one of Dom's favourite chocolates. So came back and bought a box of chocolates, and I said, "Oh, I've got to go to the shooting club tonight." So I hid this box of chocolates because I know Dom would have probably had polished them off by the time I got back. So I hid them, and I come back, and I went to get the chocolate. I was like, "Oh, she's probably had them somewhere." So I said, "You've had the chocolates, haven't you?" And you said, "Swore blind, no." So we checked all the kids' hiding spots, couldn't find these anywhere. So we thought, I don't know where they've gone. So we sat down and started watching a couple of films. And then as I went to bed, I went upstairs. I thought, I forgot my inhaler. So I went downstairs, and where I was sat on the sofa, there was the box of chocolates. Oh. And I was like, well, I would have sat on them and crushed them, and they would have been melted. They were perfectly in the middle of the seat. And I was like, nah, that's crazy.
So when we were due to move out of that house, things started going missing again. And in the end, I said, "Look, you can come with us." And well, we did. He did. I know he did. Because when we've been on chatting, like video call with Pam and things like that, she's turned around and she said, "There's a little boy on your stairs." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, good George." And then when we started doing investigations, we noticed after a while that we kept getting the same name coming through on the spirit boards, and it was George. And he's now come with us on about 90% of investigations.
Yeah. The funny thing is that when we mentioned the shot glass on the Ouija board, everybody in our team knows when George is on there because the glass moves in like a particular way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's got his own. Well, he obviously has got his own personality, but you can always tell when it's him on the board. It'd be like, "It's George, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yes." I'm like, "As we know."
I recall that from that night when you guys were doing that at the battlefield. Yes, yeah, when you guys were doing that. Yeah, that's cool. So he goes with you.
Yeah, he does. He does. We did used to have a girl around called Alice as well. She's a bit more of a personal story, but she's kind of seems to be at West now. We haven't really heard from her in a little while, so I think she's gone back to being at peace.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever caught George's voice, have we?
Not caught it. I've heard him.
Yeah,
but that was before we started doing the investigating. But because Josh, you've had a few bits and bobs happen as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, since joining the team, there's a lot more that I've never experienced beforehand. Like I've experienced sort of sounds and touches and whatnot. But I think when we went to Woodchester, Zoe, she like guided me and another lady through mirror scrying, and that shook me to the core. Not gonna lie, because I'd never experienced it. I was new to it all, and I was just concentrating on this mirror. And Zoe was there, like, Josh, like when you get time, look over to your right in the mirror. It's basically the woman's reflection. And it wasn't a woman sat there. It was a full-blown, bold bloke, double chin, pale as anything. And I'm not going to lie. I sat there and I was looking and I was like, Zoe, is that something wrong with my eyes? Turns out that's not just how it is. But it did freak me out slightly. But it's very interesting. Another side that I'm quite interested in now as well. So...
talking of mirror scrying, Chrissy, we did one at St. Nicholas's Priory, and we actually got pictures of her face changing. She looked like a guy at the end, didn't she?
Yeah.
It was so weird.
So the picture's on our Facebook page, but I've literally taken a picture from behind of her in the mirror, and you can see her face is her. And I literally, maybe a second, I've walked behind her, taken a picture from the other angle, and she has changed into a man.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
I've seen that.
It has different...
Before.
That was creepy.
I was gobsmacked.
I mean, we couldn't even get a response from her. She was so, like, stuck looking at so the thing was like...
That's when Fiona comes into play. She is our spiritual first aider.
Yeah, she sorts that out.
Nice. Well, I want to be respectful of your time because it's after 1 a.m. I usually keep it to an hour. I know I was a little late, and I definitely do apologize. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh my God, I have like another hour because Gwen's like, isn't your show at 7? I'm like, yeah, I got another hour. And she's like, it's after 7. And I'm like, oh shit. And I come running up. I said, I hope if it's too late, I'll be good. So I want to be respectful. I mean, I had a great time. I would love to have you guys back, and if we ever get back over, I'm sure there's a chance we could get back over to see Daniel. And I see he's doing another conference next year. So I mean,
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
if you and Gwen are over here for the 3rd of May, let us know.
May of
next year, if you fancy a sleepover in a haunted prison. We're doing a private one for paranormal teams. Yeah. So if you're over here, give us a shout.
Let me write that. You said May 3rd.
May 3rd, yeah. It's a Sunday.
Okay.
That's a bank holiday.
Yeah, for us it's bank holiday.
It's bank holiday weekend. So yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
It's supposed to be the most haunted prison in the UK.
Oh, that'd be wild. Nice.
It's got a bit of American history with it as well.
Oh, really?
It was a barracks in the Second World War.
Oh, okay.
And they actually executed a few American soldiers there as well for local crimes, and they still
Wow.
got the bullet holes in the wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that history, especially like I'm a World War II buff, so I enjoy that. So that'd be pretty cool. And the chance to be there, yeah, we may have to fly over.
They still got the hanging room as well there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
And the original cells.
And,
As long as you're not claustrophobic, you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Unless my fat ass can't fit in there, I'll just have to turn like sideways, or I'll have to go.
I'm sure you'll get in there.
They're that claustrophobic. But I appreciate the offer. That's awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else you guys want to promote? Anything you guys coming up other than like taking a break for the end of the year? If not, we could close this out.
Just check out our Facebook page. We're always putting little bits and bobs, and anything we do have coming up, we'll always be posting on there.
All right.
Yeah, we have got a couple of public events coming up. We haven't actually booked it. We haven't got it set in stone yet. So we have got a few things in the pipeline anyway.
Okay, nice. And you guys are on Facebook, Western Supernatural. Look them up. Great group of people. And Josh, Kevin, Dom, I mean, it's nice seeing you guys again. And let me take us out of here. And have a great morning for you guys.
Yeah,
You too.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
This has been a CARC Universal production. This has been a